Better. Not sure what about going forward. I mean, tomorrow she's not playing, but it's better. Getting better every day. So keep our fingers crossed that maybe we'll be set to go by that weekend.
Geno, do you still get excited before opening night? Do you still get goosebumps?
Yeah, I mean, I think it happens exhibition games. It happens scrimmages when you play, with no fans, with nobody. And anytime you get to put your team out there on the floor against somebody different, you're always a little bit anxious to see what you're going to see, and that hasn't changed. And doesn't matter how many years, it's still the same all the time.
Without a great player like Paige, and obviously you don't replace her, have you gotten better at coaching this team without her because you've had so many opportunities to do it?
Well, let's put it this way. If we had the exact same team back from last year minus Paige, then it might be one thing. But there's, right now, not only no Paige, there hasn't been any Caroline, and there hasn't been Liv and Kristen and E, and people that have been around for a long time, and now it's a lot of new players in new roles and doing different things, and it takes time. So I don't know that we're in a comfort zone where we say, we've gotten used to coaching without her. But each day that goes by, you find out a little bit more about the team you have, and you're just more focused on what do we have, not what we don't have. And after a while, it's completely out of your mind. And so you look over and you see her standing over there after somebody does something, you go, no. Then I go over and yell at her. Makes me feel better.
The standard never changes, though?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's an expectation level here at Connecticut, and those expectations are, self-created. We didn't just show up one day and somebody dropped those on our heads. We brought this on ourselves. We did it, so we own it for good and, we're married to it for better or worse. And there's no way to get around it. You have to embrace it, and you can't. You can't go into every game and go, it's all right. If we don't win, you can always say we don't have Paige. And I just think the expectations are the expectations. There's this perception that, how have you been to Final Four 14 times in a row? So minus Paige, it might be a little bit harder, but don't worry about it. And you just kind of, roll with it. It's one day at a time.
You do have a pretty good starting lineup right now, though. I mean, you're pretty pleased.
Well, against Kutztown, it was a pretty good starting lineup. If we could trade Kutztown for Texas, I think it would still be a good starting lineup. But I think you only know how good your starting lineup is after they played together a bunch of games and been in a lot of different situations. I like the way they blend, and I like the way they mesh with each other. So that's a good sign. And there's a little bit of everything in that lineup. So hopefully some of the things that are going to pop up that we're not able to handle, which I'm sure there's a bunch that we'll see either tomorrow night, Monday night, next weekend. They're all going to be there for everybody to see. We're going to get exposed to a bunch of things, and we'll just keep trying to take advantage of what our strengths are, and that strength lineup does have some. There's probably a bunch of teams in America that like to have that start lineup.
Healthy AZ, healthy Dorco.
So far,
helps a lot.
Helps a lot
compared to last year.
Yeah.
You have some good things too.
You think back to the national championship game, and AZ played 5 minutes. I don't know what she played, and Dorka didn't play at all. And, you know, Paige, Liv, Aaliyah, Kristen, E, you know, Caroline played a little bit. So, you know, we're coaching a different style of team, a different style of play. And the key is going to be having everybody healthy, which we're already not there, but Dorka healthy gives us, you know, a big presence inside. Aaliyah's, you know, gotten better and better, and AZ 100% is different than most kids in America. So.
Do you think people underestimate you because you don't have Paige? Or it's too early to even be predicting things that people are predicting, but
I mean, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I just know that, you know, predictions generally don't come true. And whatever people are predicting for us, you know, I don't know what they are, but they're probably false. You know, so if they had us number 1 in the country, it's probably false. If they had us 20th in the country, it's probably false. Anywhere in between, it's probably false. So we don't know what the truth is until, you know, come April. Then we'll have a pretty good idea. But yeah, this may be the only place in America where you lose the best player in the country, and people say they don't appreciate you, huh? They have you ranked 6th. There'd be parade down Main Street in most places, right?
It's an impact practice. You only have so many guards. 2 of them can't practice. Does it change what you can get done 5-on-5 in practice?
We can work 5-on-5 in practice. We just can't do it as long. You know, we have enough practice players that they can, you know, obviously more than fill in. But right now, you know, we have Nika and AZ, Lou. Aubrey's down there most of the time, Nesh. So we've got, you know, we've got enough to play with. Not optimum, but we can still do what we did. We have to be a little more conservative with some things, but other than that, you know, there's things that we're not going to be able to do all year, basically, you know. Not having ice, our big guys can't be as physical as they want to be. You know, not having Paige and Caroline right now, our guards can't be as aggressive and as risks, you know, taking as they want to be. So we got to be very conservative with a lot of things. But that's okay. That's okay.
Back in the good old days, we used to talk about Gabby Williams' athleticism and her transformation into being an All-American basketball player. Is Ayanna comparatively sort of like that, as in, you know, she's a really, you know, terrific athlete, obviously has great athleticism, and where's her development as a basketball player?
A little bit of a difference. I think the difference is Gabby was a primary ball handler in high school, so she spent a lot of time with the ball in her hands. And as she started to develop skills that would help her here at Connecticut to go along with her athletic skills, you know, the God-given stuff, she always had that feel for the game, that knack for the game, and the ability to make plays with the ball. Ayanna, you know, isn't a point guard that we're trying to make into a forward. Ayanna's a forward that we're trying to make into a forward. So might take a different path, but who knows? Ayanna's getting better every minute of every day. Every practice, she's better than the practice before that. You know, will she evolve to be Gabby-like? I hope not. I mean, I hope she's her own version of whatever she is, but there's only one Gabby. We've only had one, and I've been here 38 years, so I don't know that all of a sudden we got another one. It's just different. It's just different. That's kind of how I'm going about everything, really. It's just different. Things are different, you know. So you just got to roll with it. That's my big thing, man. I just got to roll with it. Whatever I see every day, I just got to go with it.
Is it rare for a freshman like Ayanna to have such a non-stop motor? At least we saw that in the exhibitional, and Aaliyah said that continues on in practice.
Yeah, that's every day. And it is unusual. We've had a couple. And the fact that we've had a couple tells you how rare it is. You know, but we've had a couple. And, you know, Jennifer's motor was like that. Maya Moore's motor was like that. You know, Renee Montgomery's motor was like that. Kelly Farris's motor was like that. You know, just not many that come in as freshmen and it can go. Now, by the same token, there was 2 minutes left in the game the other day, and she had probably played 7 minutes in a row, fourth quarter. I don't know, maybe 8. I don't know. And she's, get me out. We're like, hell no, you ain't coming out. These guys don't want to go back in. Finish the game off. You know, the old guys are like, I ain't going in for her. Leave her in there. So she still gets her winded self, you know, and she still is working through some things, but I don't know that anybody's effort, anybody's intensity level, and you see her. I mean, was last time we had a big kid, you know, make the kind of effort plays that she made. It's just really inspiring to watch for the other players, for sure. And for the fans, too. They fell in love with her right away.
Kind of reminiscent of another 34 from Indiana.
Well, you know, that's kind of what, you know, we were saying that, you know, there's some freshmen, and Kelly was certainly one of those freshmen that just came in and wasn't thinking about how many points am I going to score or how many minutes am I going to play. I just want to compete really, really hard every minute that I'm out here, and that's what, you know, that's what Yana brings. She's an incredibly proud kid, and she's very determined, and she just wants to play, and right now that's good enough for me. I'm not going to confuse her with anything, you know, and I'm going to overcoach her at this point.
What do you think led to her being just that kind of kid that comes in and is kind of comfortable with her surroundings, and she's not like all nervous, you know?
Oh, she's nervous as hell. Don't worry about that.
Really?
Yeah. You know, there's a nervousness in her. But some kids, when a game starts, they're competitive enough that they can hide it. You know, some kids, they can't hide it. You know, they step out there and, you know, the lights and the crowd and everything gets to them. You know, she has it too, but she's able to block it out. And, you know, she comes from a family of players, and it comes from a family of competitors, and she was, you know, well coached in high school, and just learned growing up how to play hard and how to compete. And when kids come here, you know, they always have a choice. You know, people always say, how do you determine who starts, who doesn't start, who plays 20 minutes, who plays 15, who plays 25 minutes? And kids decide that. And some kids come here, and they're, by their actions and the way they carry themselves, they're saying, Coach, I really don't want to play. I mean, that's basically what they're saying. Like, they don't really think that's what they're saying, but that's what they're saying. Like, I'm not really ready to play. And some kids come like her, like Yana, and they go, Coach, I'm playing. I'm playing. And you're going to have to play me. And I use that example all the time. You have to be the kind of kid where I have to play you. I have no choice. Like you, don't like you, that's got nothing to do with it. You know, I have to play you because look at what you do. Or, I can't play you, look at what you do. Or don't do. So, you know, people always think that coaches make the decisions. I wish it was coaches that could decide who plays and who doesn't play. But you like to have a team where, you know, you have 12 kids on a team, all 12 have to play. Then coaches got a problem. But a lot of times kids, they make those decisions. They make it easy for you.
You mentioned just how different things are, the circumstances with the injuries and things like that. Does that affect at all how you approach this, you know, season opener, especially with the game against Texas coming shortly after?
No, I don't think. I mean, there's been enough years where we've opened with like Texas type games. We've played in some preseason classic or some game of some magnitude where you say, okay, we're playing, a top 5 team in the country day one. So it's we're no strangers to that. And if to be honest, I think if you ask the players to be honest, they would tell you that they would like to have 30 of those games that are like that, even though I know that's not realistic. But my approach is pretty much the same, I don't change my approach until March. My approach from September to March 1st is the same. Nothing changes, nothing varies, nothing. I don't make any changes till March 1st. Then, things are different. Life is different in March.
If Aaliyah had broken her nose last year and had to wear this mask, I think there's probably a good probability she would have pouted a little or just been out of sorts. It seemed, at least from the other day, that she's playing hard, she's comfortable, she's just more mature. Do you see that?
Maybe. I mean, I do know that I think we only had 2 players all last year that played every game, right? She was one of them.
Yep.
So Aaliyah likes to be in the game. She likes to be counted on, and she has, like most kids you would hope by the time they're juniors, she has taken another step in the direction that she wants to go in, and these are setbacks, but they're not, they're not season enders. So I've always said this to every one of the players. Some are not mature enough to handle it. Some are. That unless the trainer or the doctor tells you can't play, the decision is on you. So if we say, look, you're good to go, just put this mask on, and you go, I can't, well then you just don't want to play. And Aaliyah wants to play. So I'm not, I'm not surprised. I'm not at all anything other than I expect it. You want to play. So if you want to play, it's what you got to do. It's what I got to do. That's the other thing. Kids, they come in all sizes, man. Some kids live in the training room. Some kids, they forward their mail to the training room. They just, they live in there. Why? It's comfortable for them. They have an out. I can't play, coach, I'm hurt. So, Aaliyah, she wants to play. So, and the way she played in the scrimmage game doesn't look like it's bothering her. It doesn't look like it's slowing her down. And we need her to be really, really good this year. And so far, so good.
How did you see Aubrey just digest playing in her first game since, 580 days?
Good and bad. I think she's rusty, obviously. It's going to take some time for her to get into the flow of things. But there's a part of the game that Aubrey impacts that most of the other kids can't. And the trick for Aubrey now, as opposed to being a freshman, and it's a shame that she hasn't played, because the trick now is you can't be like you used to be. You got to be better. You got to be different. Because if you're the same as you were back then, these other guys are going to go by you. So the challenge for us as coaches and for Aubrey is, okay, I need to go out and I got to be who I am, and I got to be really good, and I got to be like that every day. And first things first, she has to be on the court. So that's gotten accomplished. Now the other part will come.
Your depth is being tested at guard, but the 3 that you started the other night are pretty good, and you always talk about the importance of great guards in basketball at the highest level. Are you pretty pleased with those guys?
Yeah. I mean, they're good. They're good at what they do. That was my feeling in June when I saw what we had, and I saw the guards that we had, and I saw the variety of things that they could do, but they all had one thing in common, you know. They each knew exactly who they were, and they did what they're good at every day. And that, if your guard play is not the strength of your team, then I think a lot has to go right for you to win. Then that puts so much pressure on your post players to have to do a lot. So, I mean, I think you take the national championship game last year, South Carolina, and use that as an example. As great as their big guys are, and as well as they played, you know, if Destiny Henderson doesn't have the kind of game that she had, it would have been a whole different story, probably. So I don't care who any of us have. I think every coach will tell you we need great guard play in order to be successful. And we'll find out whether we have great guard play. You know, I think, you know, Monday will certainly test that for us.
You guys signed 3 recruits this morning. Can you just talk about them and what you're most excited to see for them next year?
I mean, you know, I said earlier that I like who we're bringing in, but I don't think there's ever been a time when I've stood here and you guys asked me, tell me about your recruits. And I go, you know, we signed 3 or 4 kids. I'm not crazy about them, but I think they're going to be really good. So, you know, anytime you bring in a recruiting class, you're always, hey, I'm excited because we were able to get exactly what we needed. You know, we needed to be quicker at the point guard, and we did. You know, KK's like that. We need to get bigger and longer, more athletic on the wing, and Kaden certainly is that and can shoot it. We need to get tougher physically, you know, and be able to, you know, score other than just the 3-point line. And Ashlyn does that and defends like crazy. So we knew what we needed and we got it. And we got the kind of kids that I think we're used to getting here at Connecticut. And relatively speaking, they were not hard to recruit, so that's even better. Because I think they understood, you know, this is what we have, this is who we are, this is what you guys can bring, and they were anxious to come here. So it was a pleasure, and I'm glad we got them. And we're not done yet, so we'll see what happens. Still got another, what, week? Is the signing day? Oh, actually, the only signing, we got 1 week, right? Till next Wednesday? Yeah, we got 1 week. So, in this world of free agency, you never know.